December 5th, Episode 1, Disney Lorcana, Buy, Sell, or Hold. My recommendation was a buy. Let's see if I was right or wrong about this recommendation. 6 months ago, that was my recommendation for Disney Lorcana. I said now's a good time to buy, and I'm going to come right out and say it. Was I right or wrong for giving that recommendation 6 months ago? I was wrong. That's right, I gave you guys a recommendation, but a bad recommendation. We're actually going to go through why I think I was wrong to say buy. Mainly because Disney Lorcana has actually seen a downward slope, continuously a downward slope. We're actually seeing booster boxes outside of the first chapter in the 1 to 115, 120 range. First chapter, still very expensive, so I was wrong back then because there was only one chapter, only one set, the first chapter. And I said, now's a good time to buy, right? We're seeing product go down. We'll see a little bit more of that. And I said in the next month or two, when the next set drops, we'll just see that first chapter really just drop. Nope, I was totally wrong. However, there are still some silver linings for Disney Lorcana. We're going to talk all about that in today's episode of Buy, Sell, or Hold. But before we go any further, if you guys can just do me the really big favor, hit that like button. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a video, and comment down below whether or not you guys think I'm right in this video, whether or not now's a good time to buy, sell, or hold. What is your recommendation for Disney Lorcana? I think now's a good time to buy. I think now's a good time to just sit and sell on it and be like, nah, I'm good. Just dump this product at the moment. Now's not a good market. Or do you think it's a good time to just hold and say, hey, you know what? Maybe another month or two, we actually might see a drastic difference. Let's just wait another month or two and see what happens then. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below in this video. So before we go any forward, of course, like I said, that was 6 months ago. It was December 5th or 7th or something like that. It was only one set, the first chapter. We're going to take a look at just the first chapter, and I have it already set up here. So you guys can see product for the Disney Lorcana, the first chapter, still at an all-time high right now. I mean, drastically high. Where we do, though, see some product dropping, I think it's actually a strong sealed market, but as far as singles go, we are seeing some drastic drops from singles. So if we can go back to when the set dropped, let's go back as far as 6 months ago. There we go. 6 months ago, you guys can see cards really high. Even the singles for first chapter, that's probably because, first chapter is still a very strong meta set. But there are some cards that did drop. Rapunzel being one, not one of them. Here's Maleficent. You guys can see downward slope from the 40s all the way down to the 30s. But if we go back 6 months ago, you guys can see really dropping here, really spiked here around the March, and then starting to come back down. So first chapter, we're not gonna spend too much time talking about the first chapter, but we are seeing, some dips in certain areas, not a whole lot. Where we see the biggest dips, not in the legendaries or in the super rares, but I'm gonna show you exactly where you see the biggest dip in the first chapter. If you go back and actually watch that video of the first chapter, a lot of these rares were very, very, very expensive. Of course, it's the only set out at the moment, like cards like Cusco, Lilo Making a Wish, Lantern, that was a very expensive card at 1.2. But we still see some cards at a very high rate right now. Fishbill and Quill, Maui Hero to All. You can actually see he's actually just on an upward trend. That's just because he's powerful. But like I mentioned, Cusco. If you go back and check out Cusco 6 months ago, I mean, pretty expensive card for $5 now, all the way down to 36 cents mint. Lilo Making a Wish. I know this was also a very expensive card. You guys can see, there's $3, $4, $6 even in the midst of March. $5, and then recently starting to really drop all the way down to at $1.49 being damaged. Lightly played at $1.50. Near mint still $2. So still seeing a little bit of a downward trend, which is good. Lantern, I know it was another card that was very, very expensive at one point. Cold foil and normal, you guys can see the prices there. $1. Cold foil, a couple of dollars, almost the $5, $6 actually. And then you see right here, cold foil normal, $3.49, 76 cents, and now we're at 64 cents for brand new. So first chapter still really expensive, which is why I said I was wrong to say, hey, now's a good time to buy. Well, of course, then Disney Lorcana came out with some other sets. And then we ended up getting Rise of the Floodborne, which was also a great set. So let's take a look, because it's been 6 months we've taken a look at this. Let's take now a look at Rise of the Floodborne. Awesome set, really good cards here. First, let's take a look at the sealed, and we'll go back as far as 3 months, which is perfect. So you guys can see, got announced. Can we go back as far as 6 months? Sure, let's go back as far as 6 months so you guys can get a really good idea. Because I guess we'll kind of compare it to the first chapter till now. So you guys can see prices for sealed booster boxes. The highest they were at 140. They've been at anywhere between 120, 140. Maybe you can get it a little bit lower, like 118. It's really not much lower, so that's pretty good. So Rise of the Bloodborne, pretty steady Eddie. Sealed for an entire case, which is 4 boxes. Again, when it first announced, was $7.99, and then you see a pretty good downward slope, which is what you want to see. 480, 460, 596, 592, and then back down again all the way to 515, where we're currently at right now. So that's pretty good too. I'm not going to take a look at the enchanted cards, because when I'm talking about whether or not now's a good time to buy, sell, hold, I'm really speaking to players. I'm not trying to directly speak to a lot of the collectors out there. However, though, there are a couple of cards you can look at that these are all cards, you can snipe at the right time. Sisu was one that I sold, I think, for like 120-ish. Now it's at $100. A lot of these enchanted cards are the cards that everybody's chasing for. I really don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about them, because when we're talking about when it's a good time to buy, sell, or hold, we're looking at whether this is like my criteria, what we're kind of looking at. Is it a strong sealed market? Are the sealed prices dropping to where they're a little more affordable, a little bit below MSRPs? I believe MSRP for booster box is supposed to be $100. I mean, we're seeing, you guys can see right there, treasure troves. These are supposed to be like $50 boxes that you're supposed to be able to sell to the masses. I mean, if we're looking at prices that are 71 for treasure troves, if booster boxes are like 130 and beyond, that's a little high for MSRP. That's not where we like to be. So then the other criteria you want to look at is you want to look at whether or not the single market is good. Are prices dropping? Even though booster boxes are expensive, or at least the cards inside of them, are they matching that same intensity, or are the cards really cheap and you can just go out and just buy a bunch of singles? Because that's a good buyer's market. That's kind of what we're looking for. So yeah, my recommendation would be, try to buy and just stick to singles. So there's different criteria for when is a good time to buy, when's a good time to sell, and when's a good time to hold. But let's take a look at some of the most expensive cards. Now these are the cards. These are your legendaries. These are the cards that you really want to kind of get and pull. So you guys can see right here, we got Beast, Tragic Hero. We go back as far as 6 months. He was relatively cheap. You can see when to like the last 3 cards have sold and what their prices were. So when he first dropped, we're looking at $43 normal, $60 for cold foil. And as you continue, $40. Then all of a sudden we get right here in between January and March. So it's probably going to be February. And you can see right here, we get a spike. So 81.56 drops a little bit, but not by much. And then we get another big spike at 91.70, 61.27. And then coming into April and starting to fade away into June, we're starting to see a steady dripping of drop. It's dropping, but not by much. When you're going from 91 to 61, you're dropping all the way down to what, 71.47, 65.53. Prices are a little all over the place, whether or not for normal and foil. So pretty expensive card there. So, and again, that means it's a very powerful card. It's a very meta card. Okay, so we're looking at that. Let's look at another card, maybe not so cheap, not so meta. So when this card first dropped, we're looking at $17, $20, $33. So this thing saw a drastic bump in foils and in normal. And then as you guys can see, 31, 17. And when I'm giving these two numbers out, I'm literally just reading the cold foils and the normals. 31.69, 29 and 14. That's pretty good. 27. So you guys can see starting to really taper off here. There's a good price right here. You can get it at $10 for just its normal, which is pretty good. Of course, cold foil going to be more expensive. We all know that. We understand that. And I'm starting to see another increase. So we saw a dip in March and April, and it seems like we're seeing a pretty high jump in some of these cards in the June area. Why? Probably because the next set that came out probably bumped up these cards and made it a little bit stronger. So that's another good legend. Let's take a look at one more. Scar, Vicious Cheater. So 6 months ago, $20 normal. Maybe I'll just take a look at normal here. So $7, $6, $5, $4, $3, and then once again bump right back up right around this April in between June, and now sitting where it's supposed to be, where you guys can see cold foil is selling for $37 and normal selling for $11.28. So it was right around $11 for normal, $20 for cold foil, and then here we are at the end of June, $34 for cold foil. So cold foil is seeing a pretty drastic jump, and normal is back to where it normally should be. So 11 there, and now it's about 10 here. In between, it's all a little bit of a jump. So cards are really not, they're seeing somewhat of a dip, in that March era, and then right after March, seems like when another set was announced, some of these cards are getting big bumps. The rest of the legendaries, you guys can see for yourselves: $6, $5, $5, $5, $5, again, $5. We'll take a look at maybe like Alice Growing Girl. I know that was another card that was pretty expensive at one point. So let's see what it was normally. So it was $10 normally, and then it just saw a pretty steady. See, that's normal. That's what a normal card market should look like, right? It first gets announced it's $10, then it slowly drops by $6, $7, $8 and beyond, especially when more sets come out. So that's pretty good. Let's see if the rest of these kind of do the same trend. They really don't. So you guys can see $5 here, then it drastically dropped, and then of course this is right around when the recent set came out. So it looks like these cards, it looked like Rise of the Floodborn got a very big boost from Ursula's Return, which is the most newest set that just dropped. You see some of the rares not that expensive. Here's another card I know that was very expensive as well. Snow White Well-Wisher. We'll take a look at her. So again, this is a normal card. See, there you go, $7, and then drastically just starts dropping. So it's a very odd market for Disney Lorcana. So that's Rise of the Floodborn. Let's go ahead and jump to Into the Inklands. Into the Inklands was a set. Didn't have a whole lot of hype around it. You guys can see the sealed market for this one. This is one of another newer set. So it first gets announced, we're at $480, $490, and then we're drastically dropping all the way down to $430, $447. Okay, so we didn't see that much of a drop. Maybe like $20. That's normal. That's what a normal market should look like. So here we go into the Inklands. We're gonna go all the way back now a little bit to January. So 172 was the booster prices, probably more pre-sales, and then you can see once I think the set came out around February. Then you guys can see now it's at 124, and it's been dropping ever since. Again, a normal market. We're at 220 originally in December, all the way down to 109. That's a normal market. Well, how are the cards looking? How are we looking for the singled market? Well, you can first check the enchanted cards. The reason why I say you first want to check it too, because this will also coincide whether or not a sealed market is very strong. You see that enchanted card at 325, you know that people are going to be chasing it, and they're thinking that this could be this box is going to have it. This is the one that's going to have it. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But, didn't mean to do that. But you can see a very powerful, very strong, very expensive enchanted card at Ursula, Deceiver of All. Again, so you can see how expensive this card is. And there's also some very heavy hitters here. We're talking 176, 139, 114, 127, 118. Like all these enchanted cards, most of them anyways, will probably pay off your box. Then we got a couple of some cheaper enchanted cards right here. You can see all of these. So there's the booster boxes again. Pretty good booster box market. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the legendaries. And then we're going to go ahead and talk about the newest set. And we're really going to see how well this market is being dictated. So Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, pretty expensive card. Go back 6 months ago. February is when this thing came out. So we're looking at $39.55. And you can just see this is just not tapering off. We're getting another boost right around the newest set, Ursula. So very, very strong market for Disney Lorcana. Not a very buyers-friendly market. Here's another one. This is Ursula, Deceiver of All. You guys can see we had a little bit of a dip in March and April. And then once again, Ursula's Return comes out. And this card's seeing a little bit of a bump. But this card from its inception was at $44.11 and now is at $37. So take that information for what you will. Lucky Dime, we'll take a look at that one. There you go. You guys can see this thing saw a drastic dip in normal. 366 was its normal price, and then all of a sudden this card just started jumping up. Probably because people found a way to break the card. Jafar, Striking Illusionist. There's another card that was really good as well. So you guys can see this card was uber expensive. This is like one of the very few times, out of all the cards I've shown you, this is the very few time we're actually seeing a card uber expensive and then drastically dropping all the way down to $841. Its inception was over $40, $39, and then $25. And then by the time we get into June, so March to June, it saw a $30, $40 drop, $20 drop. Pretty good there. So that's a good sign. We also got Kita, Protector of Atlantis. So let's take a look at that one as well. Again, pretty much steady, a few dips here and then back up to its normal price. So you guys are getting an idea here. Not going to go through all of these legendaries. Not a lot of legendaries in this set. Look at that, 4, 8, 12. Only 12 legendaries. So let's take a look at some of the rares. because these are also the other cards you're going to pull a lot of. Some pretty expensive rares. We got a $5, a $3. We'll take a look at the 350 one and seeing how well the market is for this one. So first drops $1.80, $3.84 for some cold foil. And then this one too saw a steady increase. So we're seeing we're seeing more cards increasing in value than they are decreasing in value. Not a good thing if you're looking for a strong buyer's market. So let's go ahead now and talk about the newest set, Ursula's Return. This set got a lot of hype, a lot of cool looking cards, a lot of, cards that people are going to be chasing. Booster boxes sealed for a case, $449. Booster boxes in general, $111.70. So the good news is the last 3 sets, they're all at $115 or less. Into the Inklands, Rise of the Floodborne, Ursula's Return. These are all, booster boxes, you're probably going to be spending around $120 or less. So I guess we can say that it's a little more consistently. Personally, I would like to see booster boxes of Disney Lorcana at 100 or less. I know that's probably asking for too much. 105 would be like my top, all right, 105, I can bite the bullet and buy a booster box. But at $111, $120 when you factor in shipping, taxes, all that other kind of stuff. I mean, it's free shipping, okay. Factor in some taxes, you're gonna pay another $8 in taxes. I don't know, man. I'd rather just stick to singles at that point and just buy the cards that I want. But when you're looking at the cards you want, they're pretty expensive. So let's take a look at Diablo Devoted Herald. Here's another card. We don't have to go back that far. I'm going to go back 3 months so you guys can see right here. It first drops $38, $36, $47.50. So another card we're seeing increasing. We're seeing more increasing than we are decreasing. Not a very good market at the moment. Legendaries, 12 legendaries again for this one. Sisu Empowered dropping at 21, then went up to 30 something dollars. That's crazy. And then now it's dropping a little bit. So there's another card dropping just a little bit. How about Yen Sid? So first came out, this card was also pretty expensive. Then drastic drop once the set gets announced. Seeing a little bit of an increase and then back down to $12.49 for its normal. Pretty good there. Mulan Elite Archer. So this card, uber expensive when it first dropped. And now you guys can see even the new prices right here at $9.89, $8.99. So that's a good sign right there for... But I'm not seeing enough of it. You know what I mean? You guys understand what I'm saying? Like, comment down below if I'm making sense here. You're seeing more cards increasing than we are decreasing. Here's another example. Pretty expensive, dropping here. So Ursula's Return is seeing some individual cards that were very expensive at one point dropping. That's a good sign. Here's another one that dropped. So that's actually a good sign. So only this set has seen more cards decreasing than we are increasing. I don't know. You guys let me know. All in all, I think we're good right there. Just taking a look at some of the market and seeing where it's kind of looking. Because I think I have enough information here to make a pretty good judgment this time around. My recommendation for Disney Lorcana, guys. I am selling on Disney Lorcana at the moment. I really am. I said last time it was going to be a good buyer. I thought it was going to be a good buyer's market. This time, 6 months later, I was wrong 6 months ago. Fast forward now to 6 months. I'm going to say sell on Disney Lorcana. I am leaning on selling. I was going to say hold, but I'm leaning more towards selling. So I'm going to say now's a good time to sell on Disney Lorcana and just hold out. If you have cards that you've been sitting on, a collection of cards, maybe now's a good time to sell it, because I really do think at some point this market has to come back down. This is another video that I do want to make and I want to talk about with you guys. There's so many card games out there. I can't even fathom how we're sitting on such a bad buyer's market, but we're sitting on a terrible buyer's market. Not just Disney Lorcana. We're going to talk about in the next video that I make. We're going to be talking about One Piece. One Piece is way worse, and I don't even know how we're getting these prices or where we're looking at it. We're talking booster boxes at $250. I mean, these are crack prices, you guys. I don't know where the fuck we get off, talking about booster boxes being this damn expensive in today's day and age. When you look at how many card games there are, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Disney, One Piece, Digimon, Flesh and Blood, Star Wars Unlimited, Alpha Clash, Grand Archive. Look at all the universes. What are we doing? Dragon Ball Fusion World. What are we doing? Why is everything so expensive? I don't know, and I can't explain it right now. I can't. So maybe you guys know. Comment down below. Why do you guys think that everything, all these card games and this card market is such a bad buyer's market? You think with more card games out there, the market would just be flooding with cheap cards right now, right? Because everybody should be able to get their hands with so many options out there. If you know what? I don't even feel like buying any fucking Disney Lorcana. I'm gonna sit out. I'm gonna sit on my ass, and I'm like, who cares? Disney Lorcana, you want to hike those prices up? man, go right ahead. I got another card game. I can go play Yu-Gi-Oh! I can go play Grand Archive. Are these card games maybe just that good? Maybe that's where I'm missing it. Maybe these card games, maybe there's so much money now into these tournaments, which is something we'll talk about. There's just a lot of money just being floated around, so maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here. It's a video I do want to talk about a little bit and get a little more in depth with you guys. But comment down below, why do you guys think that we're seeing such a bad buyer's market, given the fact that there are so many card games out there? I mean, at any point, anybody can just go, nope, not buying any of this. I can go play something else at the moment, and I'll wait till these card prices drop down, because I mean, I know I couldn't afford, I can't afford these actually. I know I just can't. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. Let me know. Hopefully you guys have liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you guys in the next video.